All right, welcome back to another game of Play Action Football. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and creator of Play Action Football. And in this video, we're going to continue our 2024 Minnesota Vikings replay using the new Drive by Drive mod. You can actually pick this up. I'll put the link in the description, and you can download this from the free section at clarkandaddisongaming.com. While you're there, look around. If you don't own Play Action Football, you won't be able to use this chart very well. So you'll need the team offense and defense values, which I'm pulling from the schedule. The schedule comes with every season, and so that's just several of the weeks there. I've been going through, and you can see week 1. I just went through and used the simulator online and just simulated all the games. So, you know, at the end of the season, I'll be able to actually get a rendering of the playoff picture, including Minnesota's record where they are. They're at 2-2 right now. In the season, they were 4-0. They actually started 5-0, and then they went on a little bit of a skid, and then picked up the pace again. They wound up 14-3. I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate that here, but we'll see. Anything can happen in these games. So I'll be using the advanced charts, and so there'll be a little bit more gamesmanship and game playing during this this run too. All right, they'll have the New York Jets first at US Bank Stadium in Minnesota. So New York is going to be a -2 because of they're on the road. They're a -1 overall, a 0 on offense, -1 on defense. Minnesota a 1 on offense, -1 on defense. They will be a 0, so no addition or subtraction to their drive roll. Let's see who gets the ball first. It will be the home team. So Minnesota's going to take the first possession. And first drive of the game is going to be a 17. That is a zone read run, breaks loose, and that'll be a touchdown of 30 yards. So a 30-yard TD run. Aaron Jones puts his foot in the ground, gets upfield, and a 6 is going to be good on the extra point. So Minnesota takes a 7-0 lead after their first drive. For New York, it is an 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 2nd and 4 from midfield. They're going to choose to run the ball, and we're looking at the purple die, so that'll be a first down. They can roll again. A 9 becomes a 7. 8-play drive ends near midfield. So let's check out what happens on the punt. A 1 or a 10 is going to be a touchdown for the Vikings. Otherwise, it's a normal punt, and it will be a punt. So they get it off, and Minnesota will take over on their second drive of the game. A 4 is a fumble in the red zone after a promising drive. A 9 is going to be the opponent taking over. So Minnesota fumbles the ball yet again. They've had some fumble issues. New York is going to get a +1 on this drive. So they become a -1. So 12 minus 1. 12 minus 1 is 11. 11 is a 9-play drive, reaches the edge of field goal range. They're going to try for the field goal. 1-4, it's made. This is a long field goal attempt, and that's going to be a missed field goal. And let's see if there is a block on the play. It is a 7. There is no block. That's just going to be a field goal miss. So Minnesota takes over after the field goal miss. And an 8 is 4th and 2. Let's go with the play action. 1-4, it's a long touchdown pass. See if they can get it on top of the Jets here in the second quarter. It's a 10. 10 is a pick. And so two turnovers here in the first half, and it is sloppy football as New York's going to take over with another +1, which means they're only a -1 on this drive. 6 -1 is a 5. That's a quick 3 and out. That's going to be a punt. They have not executed well. And Minnesota is going to get the next 2 drives because of that quick 3 and out. So they have 2 drives to end the half, and then the Jets will start in the second half. So first drive is an 11. That's nothing. A 12 for Minnesota will be a sack on third down. Sets up a long field goal attempt. 1-6. It'll be good. A 4 is good as Minnesota takes a 10-0 lead. And the last drive of the half goes to Minnesota. Nothing there. A 14 is going to be quarterback hurried on third and long. We're going to roll a D10 for a result. So Sam Darnold takes the sack, and that leaves him settling for a short field goal of 28 yards. And Minnesota's going to take a 13-0 lead into the half. So New York will get the ball first in the second half. They're down by 13. And let's see, the kickoff return is not a touchdown. And a 16 becomes a 14. Quarterback hurried on third and long. Let's see what the result is. Oh, it's a scramble. And the drive is going to result in a touchdown. So that's going to be a touchdown run of 4 yards. And that gets them on the board. Extra point is good. It's now 13-7. Kickoff return for the Vikings. No return for TD. And a 7 is going to be an 8-play drive, ends near midfield. It will be a punt for the Vikings. So Minnesota getting held here in the second half. New York with the ball again. 7, there's nothing. Big roll. 18 becomes 16. 12-play. Clock-chewing drive. Ends in a touchdown run of 16 yards. And the extra point will put them on top by a score of 14-13. All right, Minnesota's got to do something here. They're down. They have 3 drives left. No kick return for a touchdown. A 12, that's going to be a decent enough roll. Sack on third down brings up a 42-yard field goal attempt, 1-6. It'll be good. Oh, it's a 5. And so a 42-yard field goal. And Minnesota has, let's see, it was 14-13. So now it's 16-14. So Minnesota with the lead. No kick return touchdown. And New York with an opportunity here to start the fourth quarter. A 15 is nothing. It requires a 17. Another big roll. 17 becomes 15. That's a hurry-up tempo drive. That ends in a 28-yard touchdown pass. As Aaron Rodgers goes up, and he connects on a TD pass. That's going to give New York the 21-16 lead. Minnesota's got to do something on one of these last 2 drives. Ooh, they almost ran it back for a touchdown, a 5. We have a 10. 10 is a blitz on third and short. That's either going to be a fumble to the defense or a defensive stop. It's a defensive stop, and that leads to a punt. And New York with their final drive of the game. Minnesota needs a stop, a turnover or something. 16 becomes a 14. Quarterback hurried on third and long. And they run for first down, the first down scramble. And the resulting run is a TD run of 9 yards. 9-yard TD run. That's 6. So 28, 16. They're just going to go for the point after touchdown. They get it. They score 28, all 28 in the second half. Minnesota with a chance to run one back. They do not run it back. And final drive for the Vikings. A 6. A 9 is going to be 1st and 10. We're going to go for the deep ball. Deep pass is 1 to 6 is a touchdown pass or an interception. So Darnold drops back. A 6. Oh, they get burned on the TD pass. Feel the burn. So touchdown pass, 42 yards. If I had the players up, I would figure out who caught the pass. The extra point is good. And let's see what our score is. 14 plus 9 is 23, and we have 28. So they're within a touchdown. They scored on the last possession, and I've been giving the team who has the last possession an opportunity to onside kick and get one more drive. So I've actually put that into the rules. So onside kick 2 to 7, kicking team gets it. Otherwise, this game is over. And it's at 19, and this game is over. So Minnesota is going to drop one here to the Jets. This is one they did not drop in real life. As the Jets put on 28 points in the second half, they outscored the Minnesota Vikings 28 to 10 in the second half, and it's a 28-23 victory for New York. Minnesota drops to 2-3 on the season. Next up is going to be the Lions. The Detroit Lions come into U.S. Bank Stadium, and they are a +1 on their rolls, and Minnesota is going to be even Steven. So Detroit, we'll see who gets the ball first. It will be Minnesota with the ball first again. I'm sort of settled on this as a way to keep a log and to keep track of everything. It's just first half, second half, basically first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, like that. And each team just alternating possessions. So Minnesota will get the ball first. We'll see about the kick return. No touchdown. Minnesota on their first drive has a 15. 15 is going to be a hurry-up tempo drive. They score on a seam route from 33 yards. And that's a good way to get things started. Touchdown pass on their first drive, and they take a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. Kickoff return, no touchdown. Whoa, that's a good roll. 16 becomes 17. Zone read run breaks loose, and that will be a 37-yard touchdown run for Detroit. The extra point is good. And Detroit ties it up at 7. No kickoff return for a TD. 16, that's another good roll. 12-play clock chewing drive for Minnesota, as both offensives have shown up in this one. It's going to be a 10-yard TD run. And the extra point is good. So Minnesota scores twice here in the first quarter. That is going to skip the next drive for their opponent. So Detroit will skip the next drive, and Minnesota gets right back into it. So we get a 5. 5 is going to be an offensive penalty. 19 is an outside run, goes the distance, but we had a flag on the play. Defense can take the penalty and force a punt, which is what they're going to do. So a tough one there for Minnesota as they get called for the hold on a long touchdown run, which could just change the complexion of the game. So Detroit with an opportunity here. 15 becomes 16. That's their own long drive, and that will be a touchdown run of 2 yards. So a 2-yard touchdown run, and the extra point is good. It's 14-14. Minnesota is going to skip their next drive. Oh, yeah. And then Detroit will have the final drive of the half. So a 10 becomes an 11. 9-play drive reaches the edge of field goal range. They'll go for the field goal with no time left on the clock. A 4, it's going to be good, as I don't have a yardage for that, so we'll say 40. So 40 yards plus D10. So 40 plus D10, that'll be a 46-yard field goal. And they take a 17-14 lead at the half as Minnesota gets shut out here in the second half. Detroit is going to get the ball first coming out of the halftime. No run back for a touchdown. And an 11 becomes a 12. Sack on third down sets up a 42-yard field goal attempt. A 2 is going to be another good field goal, as they hammer it home for 3. That's their first drive of the second half. They now lead 20-14. Minnesota on the ensuing kick return. No touchdown. 10 is going to be nothing on the injury penalty roll. A 7, drive ends near midfield. The punt is going to be a regular punt as the Detroit defense clamps down on the Minnesota Vikings offense. Detroit's second drive of the second half coming up. A 3, nothing there. 19 becomes a 20. Long touchdown on play action, and that is going to be a 70-yard touchdown pass for Jared Goff. With the extra point good, and it's now 27-14. Minnesota taking it on the chin here at home against the Detroit Lions. So no kick return for a touchdown. A 10 is not going to do very much. Blitz on third and short. That's going to lead to a defensive stop and a punt. So another good defensive play for Detroit. Detroit again with the ball. And they're up 27-14, so 13-point lead for them. An 11 becomes a 12. Sack on third down sets up a long field goal attempt. They're going to go for it again. It's a 5. 5 is another field goal. And that's 42 yards. As they hit on their first drive of the fourth quarter. Minnesota's been shut out the last 2 quarters. They're down by a score of 30-14. No kick return for a touchdown. And a 16, finally a good roll there. That's going to be a long drive for the Vikings. That ends in a 10-yard touchdown run. And the extra point is good. So Minnesota finally on the board in the fourth quarter. Detroit's going to skip their next drive. And Minnesota gets the final drive here. Let's see if they can close the gap. 12 is nothing on this roll. A 10 is not going to be anything either. And that's going to be a punt, and that will end the game. If they'd scored, we would have given them a chance, but Minnesota drops another one at home as they lose 2 in a row at home. This one is going to be a score of 30-21. So they dropped to 2-4 on this season. Let me set up the next game. I have time for another one or two, so let me get that set up. All right, next game up is on the road at Los Angeles. The Rams are a 1 and -1, so because they're the road team, Minnesota is going to be a -1 to LA's 0. And then after that, it'll be Indianapolis back at home in Minnesota. Home team LA is going to take the ball first. Let's see about the kick return. No touchdown. And first drive for the Rams. 4 is nothing. 12 is going to be a sack on third down, sets up a 42-yard field goal attempt, and that is going to be missed. Let's see if it was a block. A 2, there's no block on the play. So field goal miss. And Minnesota takes over 1st and 10. We get a 5. That's going to be an offensive penalty. So a 9 -1 is an 8. 4th and 2. We're going to play this out. So let's go for the quarterback sneak. They're going to get the quarterback sneak, but the defense is going to take the penalty, and they're going to force a punt. So instead of that drive continuing, it ends. Tough break for Minnesota. And Los Angeles with the ball. 14, quarterback hurried on 3rd and long, and it will be a quarterback sack. So they're going to settle for a 32-yard field goal. So good defensive play there by the Vikings as they shut down that Los Angeles drive with a sack on 3rd down. And LA takes a 3-0 lead. 11 becomes 10, blitz on 3rd down, and that's going to be a punt. So LA's defense has come up to play in this one. We start the second quarter, 3-0 is our score. LA over Minnesota. A 5, that's a quick 3 and out. That's going to be a punt. And Minnesota's going to get the next 2 drives. So, see if they can capitalize here. An 8 is nothing. A 15 becomes 14. Quarterback hurried on 3rd and long. Darnold runs for the first down, and that's going to result in a 14-yard TD run eventually. And the extra point is good. So Minnesota takes a 7-3 lead. And let's see if they can put on another one. They get back-to-back opportunities here. An 8 becomes a 7. This will be a punt and a normal punt. So they are able to capitalize on one of the extra drives. 7-3 is our score. LA with the last drive of the half. A 14 is nothing. A 12 becomes nothing. So 12, sack on 3rd down, sets up a 42-yard field goal attempt with time running off the clock, and that's going to be missed. Let's see if there's a block. A 2, there's no block on the play, so that's just going to be a last-second miss as they are 0 for 2. Actually, 1 for 3, I guess, on field goals. They get shut out here in the second quarter. Minnesota's going to get the ball first to come out of the halftime. 7-3 is our score. Minnesota does not run it back for a touchdown. Their first drive is a 10. That's going to be a blitz on 3rd and short, and that will be a defensive stop, leads to another punt. KOC can't quite figure out what's going on here, and they have not been able to put too many drives together. A 15 is a hurry-up tempo drive. That's going to lead to a 13-yard TD pass from Stafford. We'll say to Puka Nacua. A 4 extra point is just good. So 10-7 is the lead now for the Rams, who get back out in front. No kick return touchdown, and Minnesota with their second drive of the second half. A 9, it becomes an 8, 4th and 2. We're going to try to get the pass. It's a 1 to 4 is going to be a touchdown pass. Oh no, it's an INT. As I try to go play action and hit them deep, but LA is going to get the interception. They're also going to get a +1 on this next drive. 7 is nothing. 10 becomes an 11, and the 9-play drive reaches the edge of field goal range. They're up 10-7. We're going to play defensively here. So let's say they're going to take the punt. The ball is down inside the 5-yard line. So Minnesota's next drive is going to have another -1. So -2 to this drive. And 8 minus 2 is 6. We're going to go for it all. A 1 to 3, this is a trick play that hits on a big passing TD. It's a 9, and that's going to be another pick. Dadgummit. LA will have another +1. Minnesota putting it on their defense as we head into the fourth quarter. A 5 is going to be an offensive penalty, so regardless what happens here, 18 +1 is 19. That's going to be a long TD run that is called back, and that's going to end in a punt. Minnesota still with an opportunity here. They're down 10-3, and they've given the ball away. 2 interceptions here in the second half, but they still have a chance. 6 is nothing here. A 4 is a horrible roll, becomes a 3. 3rd and 9. We're going to go for the first down pass. 1 to 4, it's a first down. We get to roll again. It's a 10, and that will be an interception on a tip pass and another pick. So LA has to run this drive out. If they throw a pick 6 or something like that, then it's just going to be over for them. They're going to get a +1 because of the interception. So 3 picks in the second half, and this is ugly. 12 is nothing. 13 +1 is 14, and that's going to be quarterback hurried on 3rd and long. 9 is a quarterback sack. They settle for a field goal, and that field goal is from 28 yards. So that will end the game as they win this one by a score of 13-7. Just an ugly game. And Minnesota drops to 2-5 on the season. Oof, getting ugly. All right, Indianapolis is up next. Minnesota is a +1. Indianapolis has a -1. Let's see who kicks off first. If you have a tie like that, you could go with the home team. I just roll again. 10-1 is going to be Minnesota receiving the ball first. Let's see about the kick return for a touchdown. No touchdown on the kickoff. And 11 +1 is 12. Sack on 3rd down sets up a 42-yard attempt, and that will be missed. And a 7 is no block on the play. So a field goal miss from 42 yards, and Indianapolis with their first drive. A 15 -1 is 14. Quarterback hurried on 3rd and long. Of course, they get the first down. That leads to a touchdown run of 19 yards. And the extra point is good. So Indianapolis capitalizes after the missed field goal on a touchdown run, 19 yards. Oh, almost a run back there. 4. A 13 is nothing. A 3 is a terrible roll, becomes a 4. Fumble in the red zone. And Minnesota just really struggling. So Indianapolis is going to recover. They're going to get a +1 to their next drive. as turnovers are costing Minnesota in huge ways. An 8, and now they're even. The -1 + 1 makes them even. So an 8 is 4th and 2. They're going to go for the quarterback sneak. That'll be a first down. They roll again as they pick up the first down. A 9, and that's even Steven. So they're going to go for the deep pass. 1 to 6. They burn them for a long touchdown pass. 7 to 10. It's a pick. Oh, yes, they finally get an interception. So Minnesota, with the pick, they're going to get a +1 on their next drive. That makes them a +2. This is a really good opportunity to score, even up the game. 15 is nothing. 13 + 2 is 15. That's going to be a hurry-up tempo drive. That ends in a 26-yard touchdown pass from Darnold. As they take care of business, the extra point is good. And here in the second quarter, Minnesota opens up the second quarter with a touchdown pass from Darnold to Addison. As they pick up the tempo a little bit. Next drive for Indy. I guess that's no kick return. So on the no kick return touchdown. A 3, -1 is a 2, and we have a defensive score or a big defensive play. Game-changing defensive play. It's either a safety or a pick 6. It's a pick 6 as Minnesota takes it to the house. So pick 6, and that is the definition of a game-changing play. As Minnesota scores 14 here in the second quarter, they lead by a score of 14 to 7. Indy is going to get the ball back for their last possession of the half. No return for a touchdown. And a 16 is nothing. 10 becomes 9. First and 10, they're going to go for the deep pass, 1 to 6. It's a TD. It's a 10, and that's going to be a pick to end the half. So 1, 2, 3 interceptions in the first half for Indianapolis. They had four possessions, 3 interceptions, 1 TD run. So they will get the ball back in the second half. Maybe that was an interception on a Hail Mary or something. The kickoff return is not for a TD. First drive of the second half, and 11 becomes a 10. Blitz on 3rd and short, and that will force a punt. So good defensive stop from the Vikes, and Minnesota will take over 1st and 10. They're up by a score of 14 to 7. Their first drive of the second half is a 13. 13 + 1 is 14. Quarterback hurried on 3rd and long, and they're going to take the sack. That will lead to a 33-yard field goal. So they do get points out of it. They push their lead to 17-7. Kick return, no TD. And 11, a 10 becomes a 9. So they're going to go for the deep ball again. 1 to 6 is a touchdown. It's a 2, and that'll be a TD pass. That from 42 yards. As Indianapolis trying to get back into this one. It's now 17-14. Minnesota on the ensuing kick return. No touchdown. And a 14 is nothing. They get a really nice high roll. That's going to be a 15 plus 1 is 16, and that's a 12-play clock-chewing drive that ends in a 12-yard touchdown run. Extra point is good, and Minnesota closes out the third quarter with a touchdown. We're going to skip the next Indianapolis drive because that's what we're told. Skip the next drive for the opponent, and so Minnesota picks up the ball again with the first possession of the fourth quarter, trying to put this one away. A 7 becomes an 8. 4th and 2, they're going to go for the quarterback sneak. They get it and roll again. 14 becomes 15, and that is a hurry-up tempo drive. It ends in a 32-yard touchdown pass. And that all but puts the game away for Minnesota, as they're going to pick up a victory here at home against Indianapolis. Indy with their last drive. They do not run it back for a TD. And a 7 is nothing. A 10 becomes a 9. So they're going to go for the deep ball again. It is going to be picked off, and that will be it for Indianapolis, as Minnesota is just going to clock out the last drive. They're up by a score of 24-14. So they're up by more than 8 points. And so we're just going to let them clock out that last drive. 4 picks on the day for Indianapolis, and that one is going to be in the books. So, 31-14. 31-14 is our final score, and Minnesota will move to 3-5 on the season. So that one, pretty good opportunity. Minnesota with 1, 2 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run, and a pick 6. So even the defense getting into it there. So when the team that's ahead is ahead by more than 8, they can simply clock on the last drive. You could force them to make that last drive if you care about points or anything like that. But, the most likely outcome is not going to be anything that changes the game. They're going to win the game. If they're up by more than 8, they're up by 17. So there's no need to force them to run that last possession. They simply run the clock out, and that is it. All right. This is the drive-by-drive module for play action football. I'm using the actual play action football, using the actual ratings here that you can see for each of the teams. This schedule comes with every season that you purchase. The seasons are available at clarkandaddisongaming.com. The module can be downloaded there free in the free section at clarkandaddisongaming.com. And you'll get a little game guide that shows you how to use it with play action football. You're going to need to buy a season of play action football if you haven't already. You can't pick it doesn't come with any cards or ratings or anything like that. It's just a little mod that is set to play with the game. You also get this basic version. So you can see that the basic version up against the this is the advanced version on the right, the basic on the left. And there are just more options and opportunities to make decisions on the advanced charts. But this one plays a little bit more like you're just sitting and watching the game, kind of sitting back and watching the game happen in front of you. There are no decisions to be made. There are splits, but those splits are just what happened in the game more than a choice that you're making. The advanced charts that I'm playing with now is more like you're playing the game, and you get to choose, am I going to take this risk, this reward, that type of thing. So you can play either one of them. One is going to feel, the advanced charts are going to feel more gamified, like you're actually participating in the game. The basic chart is more, probably if you wanted to do like a replay and you just want the team's offense and defense values, their modifiers, to really determine the strength of one team against another, and you just kind of watch it play out. And then you can use you can either roll out with dice the simulator. So the dice rolling simulator takes each team into account a little bit more. The online simulator simply takes their offense against defense numbers into account. It does not take into account their ability to score or what percentage of their scoring was field goals or touchdowns. So you're going to get a more granular, more team-oriented feel if you roll the dice. And everything you need to roll the dice is included there. You have a score sheet that you can print out and you can roll out each game with the simulator and just simulate games that you don't want to play. So it's a full-on simulation and a full sim game. You can also play out games using the actual game chart and the game cards. If you have the cards, you can assign any of these touchdown passes or runs or sacks or interceptions. You can assign all those to specific players from the player cards. I don't have those in front of me, but you could do that if you wanted to assign players and see how many touchdowns and all that kind of stuff that receivers have and how many touchdown runs different running backs have or quarterbacks or whoever. So there's a little bit more to this game that you can do even with the drive-by-drive that I'm doing here. The kick return for TD is optional. The field goal blocks are optional. The injuries and penalty roll is optional. I simply do a secondary D6 roll for that. And then this just helps me keep track of what the play is while I'm figuring everything out. So you could do 2 sets of D6. You could do 3 sets of D6, whatever you want to do. With those is fine. All right, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. I'll drop the link to the directly to the drive-by-drive mod. So if you have the game and it's only $20 for an entire season, you get every team from that season. They're all rated with these modifiers on offense and defense, and you can play out any mode that you want. You can do the drive-by-drive, you can do the simulation, which is a quick play mode, or you can do the full simulation, which is still pretty fast. It only takes about, I would say, an hour to an hour and a half to finish an entire game once you sort of get into things, and if it doesn't go to overtime or something like that, or if they're not throwing the ball all the time. So as long as the clock is continuing to run, you can play it pretty well, pretty fast. So lots of good things going on with play action football. This is actually going to be the baseline for a new college football game as well. So I got a lot more components I'm going to add to that, but this drive-by-drive system will be the game engine for that. But we're going to have a different sort of rating system and maybe even the ability to do career type play where you start with a preseason top 25 or preseason all teams, and then you start moving through and you can re-rank all the teams as you go along. So that'll be a fun thing to do as well. You could do a top 25 tournament where the results that happen on the tabletop affect the shuffling of the top 25, or you can do simply a 1 to 136, and then you just do a full-on season replay. But all of the results that happen each week are going to reshuffle every team's rankings. So that'll be a fun thing to do. Just got to figure out the rankings formula so that each week you can re-rank all the players or all the teams. All right. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That's an easy way to support what I'm doing here. Many thanks to everyone who has supported or told someone about my games. I really appreciate it. Many thanks to the Jason Flash Football channel, Jason Graham's channel, as he is pushing play action football. It's one of his favorite games, he says, and so super happy about that, and very thankful that anyone would say anything publicly good about my games, and that it helps tremendously just to let people know. Oftentimes they'll say, I didn't even know you had a football game or that this football game existed if this person didn't show it on YouTube or if they didn't talk about it here. So that is really the way that things get spread. And everybody knows about the big two, because anytime you look up tabletop sports, APA and Stratomatic are going to come up. But there's a lot of other games out there that people just don't know about. And if you love a game, tell other people about it, and it helps that game to grow so that more and more people can come into the community and begin to build a bigger community around that game. And if you go to clarkandaddisongaming.com, you'll see lots of other games that I have: baseball, basketball, football, lots of different types. Some are quick play, some are long, some are very deep, some are not. And so got a little bit of everything for everyone, but the main focus of what I do is to build games that are, number one, they're fun to play. They're not laborious. And two, they move along at a good pace so that you can get them in. Typically, you can play big chunks of the game, even the detailed games, in an hour, hour and 15 minutes. So that fits within most people's schedules, but there's always something there that's going to fit within your schedule. Even for some of the longer games, maybe there's a different mode that you can play the game a little bit more quickly. All right, I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.